From Campbell's Field in Camden, New Jersey, Comcast Cablevision Channel 43 presents the South Jersey Group 3 Championship Baseball Finals. Today, it's the Deptford Spartans taking on the Toms River South Indians. Hello again, everyone. Rob Christ along with my partners Shawn, Leary, and Shawn. A lot of excitement in the air, of course, both for us and the players out here. This, of course, is the inaugural season of beautiful Campbell's Field.
Yeah, what a nice stadium we have here today, the home of the Riversharks in Camden, and I think both teams have to be pumped up coming into a South Jersey title game and playing in a stadium such as this one.
Well, when you talk about both teams, you talk about two teams with quite a contrast. Toms River South almost here perennially versus a Deptford team that has never made a Group 3 final appearance.
Yeah, the jitters have to be on the side of Deptford Spartans. They got to be a little nervous coming into the game. That's maybe not a bad thing. They might be psyched and pumped into the game, whereas Toms River South, they're expected to be here every single year. They won the whole thing in 1998, the whole state championship, won again last year. I think 8 times in the last 10 years, they've been in this South Jersey final game. So a team really knows how to get here and knows how to win it.
Well, let's talk about that Toms River South team. Of course, they have a number of weapons. Maybe first and foremost, particularly in the lineup, center fielder Jeff Frazier.
Jeff Frazier is the ultimate player, has great speed, has a lot of power, 7 home runs this year, has knocked in 33 RBIs. He played in the Little League World Series in 1995. He's used to playing in this type of atmosphere.
Well, we talked about Deptford, of course, not really expected to be here, and I'll tell you what, maybe someone who didn't expect to be on the mound, it's John Sacali, your starter for today's game.
John Sacali's a crafty left-hander, uses his curveball effectively. This year went 4-3, pitched in some big games against Delsey, came up big against Frank Pilatowski, one of the outstanding pitchers in the Tri-County Conference. So he knows how to pitch in big games. He's going to be expected to do that right here today.
Well, of course, there's no bigger game than this one today, and we'll have the first pitch for you right after this here on Comcast Cablevision, Channel 43. Welcome back to Campbell's Field here in Camden, New Jersey. As you see, Toms River South has won the coin flip. They will elect to bat last here. You know, just about every team, Shawn, chooses to be the home team, except for one team that I'm aware of, Lee Ware's Woodstown team, always opts to go first. And I tell you what, I think he's crazy, but I also think that Lee Ware is the best coach I've ever come across.
I agree with you. I think he is the best coach that I've ever seen at a high school level. I mean, he's really an outstanding coach. He gets in the other team's minds. This is what Deptford's going to have to do, get in the minds early of this Toms River South team and make them think, hey, listen, this is a team we might not be able to beat today. They're a Cinderella story. That's what the Spartans have been all year long.
Well, each coach talked about getting out early. Chris Purguy's first pitch was a strike. Second pitch to John Sacali is also a strike. No balls and 2 strikes here to John Sacali, the pitcher for the Deptford Spartans.
John Sacali coming into today's game, batting .227.
Swung on and missed, strike 3. And quickly, 1 down here in the top of the first.
Sacali really struggling at that at-bat. But he's your pitcher, you know. You'd love him to get on base early in the game, but I think his head right now has to be on that mound and get him started. He's one of the few players, along with Frank Pilatowski, one of the pitchers, that lead off for their teams. Another guy, Jeff Frazier, who is the center fielder. We talked about him in the open. He is the leadoff batter, and he's also the best pitcher all time, 31-5 in career for Toms River South.
No balls and 1 strike here to Matt Bainey. Bainey pops one up. Coming back after it is the catcher, Scott Wood, but he will not get there in time. Quickly ahead at Chris Purguy, 0-2 on second baseman Matt Bainey. A little background on Purguy. He's a senior. He's 5-0 for this Toms River South team. He's defeated Brick Memorial, Lake Weir, Florida, Southern Regional, and Manchester, who was 20-8 this season in the Group 2 playoffs.
Yeah, not a bad number 2 to have on your team.
1 ball, 2 strikes here to Matt Bainey, the second baseman. Bainey on the season hitting .271. Ground ball in the hole, gets by the third baseman, Kevin Majeski, for a base hit.
Nice job by Bainey to go with a pitch, pull it in between short and third. And good things happen when you hit the ball down on the ground. Finds the hole and puts himself at first base for the heart of the lineup. which really has produced for Deptford, including Mr. Mark Johnson.
Well, Mark Johnson, the third baseman there. You take a look at the left fielder, Andrew Knox. Here's Mark Johnson, as you see, hitting a crisp .393 with 30 RBIs and 8 doubles. Average in RBIs, leading this Deptford Spartans club. Her guy throws over to first base. Hansen handles the bad throw. Tim Taylor, the coach of Deptford, has done a tremendous job. Swung on and missed. Her guy takes something off of it, 0-1. Tim Taylor's done a great job, the coach of Deptford. He played third base at Princeton University and has this Deptford team in a position where they certainly didn't expect to be. 0-1 delivery. Grounded foul, 0-2.
The per guy takes something off, goes outside, and then tries to bust Johnson on the inside. That's what you have to do with Johnson. If you give him something fat over the middle of the plate, he's going to drive it, and especially there's a lot of room here at this ball field. If you can get it into the gaps, you're going to play the runner home.
0-2 pitch, popped up, shallow center field. Getting back, it's Brett Hardy, and it's Hardy to take it. 2 outs here in the top of the first.
Got underneath of that pitch a little bit. Johnson, a nice job by Brett Hardy to call off the center fielder, Jeff Frazier.
There you see, Brett Hardy. He's a 4-year starter at shortstop and has records at Toms River South, including most at bats and hits. He's going to SJU, St. John's University in the Big East Conference on a baseball scholarship. Here's Dave Jackson, certainly no slouch either. First pitch for a strike to Jackson. Jackson on the year hitting .337, 20 RBIs.
He's got clean socks today. He hadn't washed his socks for a while, but they lost against Williamstown on Wednesday.
Pick off Bainey. The throw, and he's out at second base. So per guy picks Bainey, and they face the minimum. So after 1/2, Deptford and Toms River South are scoreless here in the South Jersey Group 3 Baseball Championship. Welcome back to Campbell's Field. There you see the beautiful Ben Franklin Bridge as a backdrop here. This stadium, one of the first 10 built in the new millennium. Seating capacity of 6,400. Shawn Leary, along with myself, Rob Chris, just pleased to bring you the South Jersey Group 3 Baseball Championships. Again, Deptford and Toms River South. Let's take a look at our pitcher for the day, John Cicali. Cicali, as we mentioned, probably not expecting to be in this spot, but you see he's done a nice job. 40 strikeouts and a 4.13 earned run average. A good 2-to-1 strikeout to walk ratio.
Hey, sometimes you hate to use the term crafty left-hander, but it really applies for John Cicali. He finds his spots. He has that really nice curveball that drops off. He sets up his pitches. Sometimes he'll try to get ahead of hitters like he just did there with his curve, and then sometimes he'll use it as his out pitch. But he's that type of pitcher that if you're a good hitting team like Toms River South, you don't really like to face an off-speed pitcher like this one.
Well, here you see Jeff Frazier leading things off. Drive into right center field. Going away from the center fielder, that's Phil Becker. Cannot catch up with it. Frazier on his horse, and he'll be into second base with a stand-up double. Jeff Frazier igniting this Toms River South offense right from the get-go, and already they have a man in scoring position.
Jeff Frazier had 9 doubles on the season, a total of 18 extra base hits, on base percentage of .595 and an average of .485. So this guy really knows how to hit, get on base, drives the ball extremely well. A big-time player for this Indians club, and he's got himself in scoring position early.
Frazier probably the top player for this team, going to Rutgers on a baseball scholarship. Squaring around a bunt is Kevin Majeski. Takes it for a ball. It's 1-0 here to Majeski.
Majeski not bad on the year, also hitting .400. Has 9 sacrifices. They might be squaring around here to get the early lead.
Bunts it out in front of the plate. Cicali will opt to go to first base, and the sacrifice is successful for Majeski. Frazier over to third base now with 1 out.
That's what they're trying to do, get Frazier in scoring position for the heart of the lineup. Try to get the early lead and put some pressure on Deptford early. Talking to Tim Taylor before the game, he said, I asked him how important it was to get the lead early in the game and put some pressure back on Toms River South.
Here you see Ryan Giannoulis stepping to the plate, takes for a strike, 0-1. Giannoulis, your right fielder today, a 3-year starter, has been one of the leading RBI producers for this Toms River South team. Line drive into right field, down the line, and that will fall in. Brad Lynch could not take the angle and cut it off. Giannoulis in easily to second base, and he'll pull up there with a double. Toms River South has broken out to a 1-0 lead.
Well, they got their heavy hitters at the plate in good situations there. He was able to pull one and plate Frazier, scoring easily from third, but he really ripped that ball down the line and now has put himself into scoring position.
Well, Deptford probably not used to playing with an outfield quite so big, and the gaps are going to be the story already. Frazier and Giannoulis with extra bases. That'll take Brett Hardy now, the 4-year starter at shortstop, to the plate. Pitch misses outside from Sakali. 1 ball and no strikes.
Like I was saying about Taylor, you know, he told me he's not really too concerned. This team has come from behind in so many different games this year. I think they have 8 come from behind wins. A lot of close ball games, a lot of one-run ball games. They play tight. So it's important for Sakali. You know, they have the jitters, Deptford Spartans. You expect them to be a little nervous before the game. They give up 1 run, that's fine. They don't want to get behind too much against this good hitting Toms River South team.
1-1 pitch, curveball, swung on and missed. 1-2. Sakali is going to have to be successful with that curveball in order to keep Deptford in this ball game.
Got to pick his spots. Use his location effectively.
Swung on and missed. Strike 3. 2 outs now. Sakali with his first strikeout on the afternoon.
Nice curveball there. That's the out pitch. Able to drop it in there for the strikeout. Now 2 outs with Matt Martin coming up, and still Giannoulis on second base.
Matt Martin headed to Monmouth University on a baseball scholarship. A lot of left-handers in this lineup. Curveball misses outside. 1 ball, no strikes here to the second baseman, Matt Martin.
He's a starting quarterback on the football team. He's coming off a broken leg that caused him to miss almost all the football season. Really gutsy player to come back and be an integral part of this Indians team.
Now, of course, with the open base, Sakali can opt to pitch around Matt Martin here with Todd Frazier on deck. But Frazier also an excellent hitter, but he is a freshman. And again, this early, you have to question whether or not you want to put runners on base. Fastball on the inside corner for a strike. 2 balls and 1 strike here.
Especially you got the lefty-lefty matchup going for you right here. I don't think you want to try to intentionally walk him, but maybe pitch him around him a little bit and try to hit your spots, not give him anything fat over the plate to drive.
Curveball for a strike, 2-2.
Especially with that breaking curve. I mean, that thing's going to come at you and then hit the corners or hit the plate. And especially with the left-handed hitter, a lot of times they'll sit there and watch you go right by him.
2-2 delivery. Curveball grounded to the second baseman, Bainey. Bainey fields cleanly and throws for the 3rd out. The Toms River South strikes first with a pair of doubles, and they lead after 1 inning of play, 1-0 here on Comcast Cablevision Channel 43. Top of the 2nd inning here. Toms River South on top, 1-0. Jackson lines it into left field for a base hit, and Deptford will quickly try to answer that 1 run that Toms River South put up in the top of the 1st.
It looked like a curveball there. Dave Jackson did a nice job of keeping his hands back, poked it into left field for a base hit. One of the senior leaders on his team. I was talking about his Sox in the 1st inning, never got to tell you about it. They were on a winning streak for a little while, and Dave, a little bit of superstition going through him. He says, I'm not going to wash my Sox. We keep winning. Well, it kept on winning and winning, and finally got a chance to wash his Sox after they lost to Williamstown earlier in the week when he was pitching on the mound. That is the reason why he's not pitching. He's their ace, going 8-2 this year. Really hard fastball, did an outstanding job to get him this far in the playoffs.
JT Matthews with a base hit up the middle, and just like that, the Deptford offense is starting to get it into gear. 1st and 2nd here with nobody out. Matthews, the designated hitter today.
So get a couple of singles so far. Faced 5 batters, 3 singles. So they're getting the battle on the ball against per guy, making them pay. Now they have to think about maybe bunting him over here and getting a run to tie this thing up.
Chris Shockey will step to the plate. He's hitting 300 on the season. Kind of an interesting setup. Matthews was only hitting 166. Ball is popped up. Diving play by the first baseman for an out. Nice play there by Eric Hansen, and that's a critical out.
Oh, it certainly is. That really breaks the momentum that they had. Shockey not being able to get that bunt down, popped it into the air. Tim Taylor's probably going to be second-guessing himself because he says it's such an aggressive coach. But I think that's a smart play there. Try to get the runners in scoring position and let Brad Lynch in the bottom of the order see what they can do.
Well, Brad Lynch will step in. He's been a hot hitter, 406 on the season, takes outside for 1-0. You know, in these championship games, Shawn, jitters play such a large role, and it's those teams that can execute the small things that usually come out on top.
Now, you've been in this situation before, being the coach of the Gateway Gators. You've been in a championship situation. How do you go into a game as a coach? Do you say, am I going to try to not make mistakes, or am I going to try and be aggressive?
Ground ball towards the second baseman, Martin. He'll opt to go over to one, and 2 outs here. A smart play there by Matt Martin, and again, you see the senior leadership of this Toms River South team. Second and third here, and Gracia will step up, a base hit here, and you may have a Deptford lead. Getting back to your question, Shawn, I think you have to approach it just as Coach Tim Taylor said. You know what? We have to do exactly the things that we did that got us here, more or less. So you can't really deviate from your game plan. And, you know, if you're a successful team, as each of these teams are, if you play well, you have to feel confident you're going to win. Gracia's first pitch is a strike. Gracia, the catcher for this Deptford squad on the season. Again, hitting here in the 8th spot, hitting at 250. 0-1 pitch. Fastball grounded towards second baseman Martin. He will cleanly pick it up and throw out to first baseman Hansen, and that will end the thread here. So Deptford gets the first 2 men on base, but cannot put any across. And after 1 1/2 innings, Toms River South leads the Deptford Spartans 1-0 here on Comcast Cablevision, Channel 43. Welcome back to Campbell's Field, bottom of the second inning. Toms River South on top of Deptford 1-0 here. Rob Christ along with Shawn Leary bringing you the Group 3 South Jersey Championship game. Stepping in, Todd Frazier. Todd Frazier, as you see, hitting .318. Frazier, a great story, of course. Everybody just fell in love with that Little League World Series team. Frazier was the winning pitcher. That is the same kid right there who beat Japan to win the Little League World Series.
Yeah, and it's a really interesting story that they come in to the Group 3 championship, 2 brothers. Jeff Frazier being the older brother. Frazier's a long line of history of Fraziers that have played for Toms River. Toms River, a history of playing baseball, and this is one really good kid, just a freshman.
Frazier bounces over to the third baseman, and a good strong throw there by Mark Johnson to get the first out in the inning.
One thing that you're going to see here today is a lot of true hops. This is a natural field. You're going to get not too many untrue hops where you see a lot of balls bouncing over fielders. So if you're an infielder, you gotta be able to say, I have to make the plays here today. I have to stay in front of the ball, make the plays, and not make mistakes in such a big game. Nice job there by Johnson.
Eric Hansen takes the first pitch for a strike. Hansen, the first baseman for this Toms River South squad. Curveball, line down the left field line, foul. You talk a little bit about the field conditions. Of course, Deptford's home field is all dirt. So perhaps the advantage here to Toms River South.
You might get a couple, you might get a couple of hops there in the all dirt field that Deptford has. And it might come into play where they've seen a lot of bad hops. So maybe do they adjust for that? And when you come and play on a different field, a field that really gives you the surface that you have here at Campbell's Field, it might come into advantage that they've seen some really tough hops and really tough plays. Now, a ball came onto the field, and from the Deptford side, they're going to try to clear it up. I think Deptford fans are a little pumped up. We don't need to have that throwing balls onto the field. I'm sure they're excited, but a stupid move by somebody in the crowd.
Well, you see Coach Ken Frank right there for Toms River South, and he's over talking to the umpire, and I think he now is switching from head coaching mode to assistant principal mode. He's the assistant principal at Toms River South, so now he's looking to deal out some detentions over there.
Oh yeah, at least you give somebody a white card, something like that.
Maybe a Saturday.
Saturday would be good.
Yeah.
Saturday, in fact, I'll be the one to chaperone it for Saturday. I got a lot of things that need to be done the next couple of weeks.
Yeah, no nonsense over there from Coach Frank. 1-2 pitch now to the first baseman, Hansen. Curveball, grounded foul. Hansen with a good at bat here.
He's making Sakali work. Another lefty-lefty matchup where Sakali should have the advantage. That sweeping curve that he has.
Hansen going on to NJIT, New Jersey Tech, to play baseball. NJIT now a Division II school. A lot of North Jersey schools going to Division II. Fastball, grounded foul, and I was a bit surprised by that. But typically in New Jersey, most schools are either Division I or Division III. But in speaking with Coach Frank, he says Felician College, New Jersey Tech, and a couple other schools up there now going Division II baseball. Curveball misses outside, 2 balls and 2 strikes here to the first baseman, Hansen.
And the schools are growing in New Jersey, keeping a lot of kids at home. Good baseball players coming from South Jersey as well.
Grounded foul. Count holds to Eric Hansen. Now it looks like we have a couple coaches in the stands here from Rowan. I know one of the Toms River South players, Ryan Gianolis, who had that RBI double in the first inning, is looking at Rowan, and there you see the contingent of Deptford fans there. Fastball misses away.
I think there probably wasn't any coaches in that little group there. Do you see any coaches in there? I don't think so.
Here's the
future coaches.
Sakali's pitch, grounded down to first base. Dave Jackson bare hands and takes it himself. 2 outs now here for Toms River South in the bottom of the second.
A couple of nice plays by Johnson and Jackson on the corners. Gets down, backhands the ball, and runs over to first. Really a funny guy right there is Dave Jackson. The character on this team, really keeps everybody loose.
Clean socks.
And he's got his clean socks now, so he seems to be a lot of fun to have in a clubhouse and to really loosen the guys up. He's a senior. You got to feel good for this team. They haven't enjoyed a whole lot of success, but these seniors really put together a nice season, and they would love to cap it off here with the South Jersey title.
Well, here you see Scott Wood stepping to the plate, hitting just 128 for this Toms River South team, and that probably gives you some idea of how strongly Coach Frank feels about this player's defense.
And certainly this team really can hit up and down the lineup. When you see somebody struggling at the plate like Wood is, they must have just superior defensive skills, and that's what he has in his repertoire.
Pitch for a strike now.
Nice pitch on the inside corner there by Sakali. That's what he does. When he's effective, he's hitting the corners outside, inside, and works the ball all over the plate.
Misses away. Sakali obviously wants to go right at Scott Wood, one of the poorer hitters on this Toms River South team. And just as importantly, if you get Wood out, then you get that number 9 guy to lead off the next inning, which is something that Coach Frank he'd like to see Wood get on base so he can turn that lineup over.
You would in most instances. Now, if he gets on, you have Frazier to come up and smack one out and give him a 2-run lead. So sometimes it depends on who your cleanup hitter is. And with Frazier,
3-1 delivery, swung on and missed. Full count now to catcher Scott Wood.
Frazier's probably one of the best hitters that you're going to see in high school baseball. I mean, this kid really has power, hits to all fields extremely well.
Called strike 3. And nice job there by Sakali to work back from the 3-1 count, and 3 up and 3 down here for Toms River South. We're done with 2 at Campbell's Field in Camden, New Jersey. Toms River South on top of Deptford 1-0. You're watching Comcast Cablevision, Channel 43. First pitch to the center fielder, Phil Becker, hits him on the sleeve, and he will lead off and be a base runner here for this Deptford Spartan teams. Needless to say, that is not what Chris Perguy wanted.
Certainly not. And we just talked about the ninth hitter. When you turn that lineup over, that really causes problems for the opposing team. Now Perguy has to face Sakali, Bainey, Johnson, and Jackson with a runner already on base.
Sakali hitting just .227 coming into this game, but does have some good speed. Another nice element, I think, for Coach Tim Taylor in high school baseball, you get your pitcher out there, you can put your fastest runner as a pinch runner. Ball hit the other way towards the shortstop, Hardy. He'll throw over to first base for one, not in time.
That's probably what's going to take place now. As Sakali hits into the fielder's choice, nice job by Brecker to break that up. It didn't look like they could get Sakali. He does have some pretty good wheels out there. I think they're going to like to keep him on. Let him run around the bases a little bit. That's one thing about this team. Deptford does have some speed on the base pads, and they can get some things going.
That'll bring up Matt Bainey. Fastball misses high, 1-0. Bainey 1 for 1 on the day. And a base hit in the first inning. Fastball for a strike, quickly ahead here. Excuse me, count evens at 1-1.
He's able to get something away and poke it in between the shortstop and third baseman the first time up. They're giving him a lot of room in right center field. If he can get something out there, may be able to run for a little while.
Ball popped up into shallow right field. Going back on it's Matt Martin. He will be called off by the right fielder, Ryan Giannoulis. And we have 2 outs here in the third.
Something in outside and just got under it a little bit. That brings up the dangerous hit on Mark Johnson.
I don't know if we can get a shot as you take a look at the outfield there. Ryan Giannoulis made the last play, but the fields are blowing from right to left here. Seem to be relatively strong. Of course, it did rain a little bit today, so you're going to have a little bit more wind than typically you would.
Yeah, there was a lot of question before we came up to Camden. Was it going to be rained out today? We were expecting a lot of rain. So far, not a bad day. It's not a day you'd want to put your shades on and get a little suntan, but
ball hit into shallow right center field, and it'll be the center fielder Jeff Frazier to take it, and that will end the inning. So after the leadoff hit by pitch, it's 3 up and 3 down, and after 2 1/2 innings, Toms River South on top of Deptford 1-0 here on Comcast Cablevision, Channel 43. Welcome back to Campbell's Field in Camden, New Jersey. There you see it, Toms River South on top of Deptford 1-0 here in the bottom of the third. Shawn, we mentioned a little bit of wind here. It's died down somewhat since already just a half inning mark, but again blowing from right to left.
So if you're going to pull a ball, you'd want to pull it your right-handed hitter down by those Campbell soup signs in left field.
Left fielder Andrew Knox will start things off here for Toms River South. Pops it up in the air, and Sakali underneath it quite easily. 1 down here. And if you are Tim Taylor, you have to like that because 1 pitch and 1 out. I always said as a coach, I love economy.
Sure, and especially that one. It looked like if he didn't bunt that, it might have hit him in the chest. That ball looked like it was coming high and tight and popped that one in the air. So Knox, who will be attending Villanova next year, went after a bad pitch, and that brings up Jeff Frazier.
First pitch is a strike to Frazier. We talked before about Frazier and just absolutely how potent he is as a hitter, and he proved us right in the first inning, scoring the lone run for Toms River South on a double. Ball popped up behind home plate, and trying to get it, it's Risk Gracia. And he had plenty of room, but I think he was a little tentative because of the wall. He scooped it up, literally batted it up in the air, but did not come down with it.
You could see him. He was looking at that wall, concerned if he was going to get there in time. Nice try by the catcher, but that's one you look at it and you say you have Frazier out on that play. Let's see if it comes back to haunt him.
Yeah, that's a good point. 0-2 here now to Frazier, but I tell you what, this is the type of guy you don't want to give 2 outs.
No, not 2 chances. I mean, if you can get him out on a foul out, take a look up into the sky and thank somebody and go on to the next batter.
Long drive into left field, going back on it, and at the wall, off the fence. Frazier now around at second base, a stand-up double, his second of the day, And there you see it, what we mentioned. You do not want to give that Jeff Frazier an opportunity at the plate, and he had two.
He really ripped that ball, got up underneath of it, and there's maybe the wind might have helped that along a little bit. He's not able to come up with a home run, but nonetheless puts himself in scoring position for Majewski, who sacrificed his first time up.
Sakali now, his first pitch, and squaring around the bunt again. It's Majewski. He takes for a ball. 1-0 here to Kevin Majewski, the third baseman. Well, Frazier has the school record for career home runs with 14. He almost made it 15. 1-0 pitch. Curveball misses downstairs.
Not a bad resume when you're the all-time leading home run hitter and the all-time leading pitcher for your team. You got 7 home runs this year.
Babe Frazier. Scoreboard has it at 1-1. I believe it's 2-0 though. Sakali's pitch for a strike now.
Nice pitch there, a little high fastball.
See what the umpire puts up here as the count. He does not. I believe it's 2-1 here to Majewski. Curveball misses outside, 3-1, and with Majewski scoring, you have to believe that in fact it is 3-1, and now the umpire gives us the 3-1 count. 3 balls and 1 strike. You don't want to lose Majewski here. Ryan Giannoulis hurt Sakali and the Deptford Spartans in the first inning with that RBI double. 3-1 delivery. Fastball popped up into shallow center field. Going back, it's Bainey, the second baseman. He's under it, and quickly now Sakali works out of that jam. 2 down, and he will pitch to Giannoulis.
Giannoulis really turned on him in the first inning, plating Frazier for the first and only run of this game so far. The ball was inside. He was able to turn on it. Giannoulis took perfect advantage. I think you want to keep the ball away from Giannoulis. I know he's a big kid, likes to pop, likes to extend his arms.
Toms River, of course, one of the 3 Toms River schools. There's south, there's north, and there's east. Line drive into center field, going back, it's Becker, a long run, and he makes the catch. Nice play there by Phil Becker, simply outrunning the baseball. Giannoulis bidding for his second RBI on the night, but would not happen, and Phil Becker saves the day here for Deptford.
He's still running.
After 3 complete. Toms River South on top of Deptford, 1-0 here on Comcast Cablevision Channel 43. Welcome back to Campbell's Field, top of the 4th inning here. Deptford Spartans trailing Toms River South 1-0. Their cleanup hitter Dave Jackson steps to the plate. 1-0 pitch is a strike. Count evens at 1-1. Jackson 1 for 1. Leading off the second inning with a base hit his last time up.
Yeah, he had a curveball he was able to hit and put it in between short and third. 2 pitches right on the outside corner. Jackson does not like the call there. He falls behind.
Now the home plate umpire, a generous strike zone, but I always like that in high school baseball.
Yeah, make him swing. I've been to games where I've been down in Salem County where Salem's playing Pensgrove. There's 18 walks in the game. It's 8:30. The mosquitoes are biting every single piece of your body, and you just want to give up at that point. So I really like when they call strikes. Make them hit it, give the pitchers a little bit of a break, and I'm glad to see they're doing that at the professional level as well.
2 balls and 2 strikes here. Top 4. Toms River South on top. 1-0. Ground ball to the second baseman, Matt Martin, and cannot come up with it cleanly. We'll see if they score that as a hit or an error.
Got the luxury of a scoreboard, so we don't have to make that a decision ourselves now.
No, we can be the good guys.
That seemed to be a tough hop. That seemed to be a tough hop on Martin. I talked about how you get true hops on this field, and making a liar out of me is it kind of took a little jump at him at the end there.
Well, they do rule it as an error, so Jackson on base now. First pitch is popped down the right field line, foul. Jackson leading off the second inning on base with a single, now leading off the 4th on base with an error, and we'll see if the bottom half of this Deptford lineup can try to generate some offense. Matthews last time up did get a base hit up the middle. Ball hit down again to the right field side and twisting out of play. No balls and 2 strikes here. At first base, you have Dave Jackson, the first baseman. Not very good speed, so I doubt you'll see him running in this situation. There you see Chris Perguy. Look at that earned run average, 1.54.
There's your number 2 pitcher.
All popped behind us. Excuse me, behind home plate, not behind us.
That'd be a nice poke. You see, we have the ability today to catch one of those foul balls.
I'm ready.
I should have brought my glove.
The last game I did was a softball game, and I have to kind of, you know,
toot your own, go ahead.
Feel good about myself. I caught it.
Did you?
All right, and that's probably about one more than I caught when I played in college. So I felt pretty good about that. I should probably quit while I'm ahead. 0-2 pitch in the dirt. Nice job by Wood to keep that from going back to the backstop, and that's what we talked about before. Wood, a fine defensive player behind home plate.
Yeah, he certainly is, and that may prohibit Deptford from getting into their style of play, which is running and moving around the base pads and disrupting some play a little bit.
Ball grounded towards the right side. It's Perguy who will take it himself. He'll flip to Hansen for the out, and it effectively works as a bunt. Jackson now in scoring position. 1 out here in the 4th inning. That'll bring up Chris Shockey to the plate. Shockey out on the attempted bunt last time, popped out to Hansen.
That's as good as a bunt. Nice job by Perguy to get off the mound, showing his athleticism and able to flip it over for the out. But now you have the runner at second base. It doesn't have great speed, does Dave Jackson at second. But if you get something here, the grass might slow it up. It is natural grass, so it might slow up a single or something that's hit into the outfield, thus giving Jackson a chance to come home on a play.
Perguy's first pitch to Shockey. Shockey, not a good swing there, 0-1.
In contrasting styles, we're talking about the fields in Deptford. Once that ball hits that ground, it's a little bit harder, it moves a little quicker. Here, when the ball hits the grass, it's going to die a little bit, and it gives the advantage to the base runners.
Ball popped over towards first base and out of play. No balls and 2 strikes here to Chris Shockey, the shortstop for Deptford. Take a look at the complex there, and you see Perguy, who's done a nice job. I'll tell you why he has been so effective this year, and again today, he rarely walks people. A 4-to-1 strikeout to walk ratio. That's phenomenal.
Yeah, that's what you ask, especially from your number 2, is not to hurt yourself. Let your defense play behind you.
And Shockey takes a called strike 3. 2 outs now. Ball on the outside part of the plate. Shockey didn't like it, but nonetheless, you see Jackson there, and I tell you, that was a critical play because
Number 10,
had Shockey put that ball into play over to the left side, Brett Hardy was out of position. He was literally standing on second base, and Perguy opted to go to the plate. Ball misses high, 1-0 to Brad Lynch, the right fielder.
Now, you know, on both teams that call is going to be made here today. You have to swing and at least foul the ball off on them outside pitches if you're a right-handed hitter. Subsequently, if on the other side, if you're a left-handed hitter and the ball's pitched outside, just go down to the left field line and try to what they call waste a pitch.
2 balls, no strikes here to Lynch. This will be a good pitch to hit. Well, this is high, 3-0, and I think Taylor's going to give Lynch the take sign here.
Lynch batting .406, 13 hits and 32 at bats.
Fastball for a strike. 3 balls, 1 strike, 2 outs here. At the plate, Brad Lynch, your right fielder. On deck, it's Rich Gracia, the catcher. On second base, Dave Jackson. He reached base in the air. Pitch misses down low for the walk. Runners on first and second here. The first walk issued by Perguy. Of course, that's right after I mentioned that he's been getting ahead and hasn't walked anybody.
Number 9.
Always works, doesn't it?
Sure does. Gracie comes up batting .250. He's got 10 ribbies. He's put in a situation where he really could help his team. The catcher for the Deptford Spartans.
This is a situation where Perguy may try to groove one on this first pitch. He does, and it's a strike. Perguy has been working on that outside corner quite effectively.
He's similar to Sakali in the fact that they try to use their placement, not overpowering like Frazier and Jackson are.
All grounded just past the pitcher. Quickly, it's Martin, makes the throw and the play, and he's out. Strong play by the second baseman, Matt Martin, and the ground out from Gracio will end the inning. So, no hits in the inning with 2 runners left on base, and going into the bottom of the 4th inning, it is Toms River South on top, 1-0 here on Comcast Cablevision Channel 43. Welcome back here to Campbell's Field in Camden, New Jersey. Nice crowd on hand. Toms River South on top of Deptford, 1-0 here in the South Jersey Group 3 championship game. And as you see, it's been a defensive battle, 1-0. A couple of strong pitching efforts by a couple of pitchers who certainly didn't expect to find themselves in this position. But the way that the South Jersey Group playoffs break down is that in the championship game, it is quite common to have the number 2 pitcher in this game.
It certainly is. Both of the number 1 starters went in the first round and in the semifinals. Toms River South getting by Delsey 2-1 in the semifinals, while Deptford got past Lakewood 4-2.
John Sakali's first pitch is a ground ball, grounded right back to him. Throws to first base, 1 down quickly here in the inning. 1 pitch, 1 out again here for Sakali.
Especially when you get the cleanup hitter. That's, you got to feel real good about yourself, and that gives you confidence when you're going into the inning. If you throw 1 pitch, 1 out, start getting a little groove behind you, a little swagger, and that sometimes can help a pitcher.
One thing that Coach Frank was a little concerned with coming into this game was his hitting. Said that he didn't feel that they were really hitting the ball very well coming into this. And in fact pointed out that they only scored a pair of runs last game versus Delsey. Of course, facing some quality pitching here. But again, you see only 3 base hits for a team that started out the year very strong in the hitting department.
And this team, you never know when they're going to break out of it because they have the quality hitters like they do.
1-0 pitch here to second baseman Matt Martin is called for a strike. Count evens at 1.
And if they get those type of calls where Sakali can pitch on that outside corner, he should be effective throughout the day.
Martin headed to Monmouth, a Division I school in New Jersey, on a baseball scholarship. 2 balls and 1 strike. Martin grounded out to second base his last time up. 2-1 pitch, a fastball, skied into center field, and it's Becker racing after it, and cannot catch up with it. Slips down on the turf, routing second base. It's Martin, and the throw misses the cutoff man. And Frank, the third base coach, opts to play it safe there. I don't know, missing the cutoff man completely. Martin looked to have pretty good speed, may have had an opportunity to score on that play, but when you have a couple of good hitters afterwards, Frank opts to play it safe here.
Especially with the 1 out, he's probably going to look for some way to score. Martin with Todd Frazier coming up, the freshman. Becker doing a nice job trying to get back on there. Went for the effort to try and catch that ball. But plenty of room out there in center, and left center and right center.
Ball skied into center field. Becker going back, heading back, and cannot catch up with it. 1 hops off the wall, scoring easily is Martin, and into second base with a stand-up double. It's Todd Frazier. Toms River South on top now, 2-0.
They really tattooed the ball. We just talked about how they can break out of it. There you see, really driving the ball to deep center field. Over Becker's head on both occasions. So really getting around right now on Sakali, and he needs to settle down. We talked about how he gets the first pitch out and has the confidence. Now, in reverse, 2 balls hit really hard against him. Now he has to be questioning himself as he faces the bottom of the order. Todd Frazier able to get the double now. They're facing Eric Hansen, and he's the number 7 hitter in this order.
Well, again, we talked about Coach Frank at third base playing it safe, and you know, it really makes your decisions easy for you when you're over there. Particularly with 1 out, you have good hitters up. With 2 outs, maybe he tries to score him there. But when you have players like Frazier and Hansen at the plate, the likelihood is that you're going to be able to push across that run. Sakali's first pitch is a curveball in the dirt. Good play there by the catcher, Rich Gracia, to keep it from going back to the backstop. 1 ball and no strikes. One thing I notice about the center fielder Becker is each inning he seems to be playing just a little bit deeper, starting to respect the bats of this Toms River South team.
We've seen a couple of really hard hit balls by Toms River South. The ball gets away from Gracia. A lot of room back here too.
Well, we spoke before about Gracia making the nice stop and cannot do it twice in a row. Ball, just a wild pitch, gets away from him, and that's a critical mistake because now Coach Tim Taylor's, I would think, going to have to bring his infield in here.
Now, they've played a lot of really close, low-scoring games. They don't have the ability to keep coming back on teams, especially if they get behind deep. And against this Toms River South and the way Per Guy's pitching, they don't want to do just that.
Ball misses outside. It's now 3-0 here to Hanson. I'm a little bit surprised. If we take a look at the infield, the middle is back, the corners are in. A ground ball up the middle, and it's a 3-0 game.
Now he lost his composure a little bit. The 2 really hard hit balls. I think he's really got to calm down a little bit. Now he walks the batter first and third with only 1 out. You're trailing 2-0. I think Tim Taylor's going to come out now and have a talk with his pitcher. You don't want to get too far behind and really start hurting yourself making mistakes with wild pitches. You're down 2-0. This team's had the ability all year long to come from behind. You just got to settle down. We got the bottom of the order up. We allowed only 2 runs so far in the first 4 innings. We've been doing this all year long. We have the ability to come back. We have the confidence. Let's just relax and see what we can do here to get out of this inning.
Well, we talked a little bit before at the top, the fact that Toms River South has been here so many times. You know, this is Coach Frank's 32nd year. He's won the South Jersey Group 3 title in 1982, 1990, 1992, 93, 94, 1998, 2000. Won Group 3 titles in 90, 94, and 98. So they've been here, and this may be the time when it starts to show.
Yeah, certainly, especially in these situations where you have somebody on the ropes. And especially a team like Deptford who is out there kind of now starting to think about, all right, we just made a couple of mistakes. No, you know, I don't want to make the mistake now, and start playing back on your heels a little bit as now the runner advances to second.
Well, an interesting play there. Kind of a delayed steal. And a lot of times in baseball, you don't delay steal just to try to draw the throw from the catcher. But again, that illustrates the confidence that Coach Frank has in this lineup. Fastball misses down low. It's now 2 balls and no strikes. Wood, as we mentioned before, we have a pinch hitter here that we didn't see earlier. It's number 4 for this Toms River South team.
Casagrande.
Ball fouled back. Casagrande hitting .234 on the year. Slipped him in on us here.
They sure did, huh? I want to find out why we weren't informed about this.
2 balls, 1 strike, 1 out here.
Kind of surprising with Wood being the catcher. They put Casagrande in here. I know we talked about Wood's struggles at the plate.
Well, of course, in high school baseball, you do have the re-entry rule, so I'm sure we will see Wood go back into the game. And this is a situation where you can kind of break this game open. 2-0 pitch. Popped up. Shallow left field. Tagging at third base. The throw cut by the third baseman. The relay and the tag, and he's out. A fine double play to end the inning. Fine play by Mark Johnson to get that relay throw, and that will end the threat here for Toms River South in the 4th. After 4 complete, it's the Indians of Toms River South over the Spartans of Deptford, 2-0 on Comcast Cablevision Channel 43. Top of the 5th inning here. Deptford trailing 2-0. Stepping to the plate. Leading off here, you have number 18 for Deptford. And that's Phil Becker, your center fielder. Quickly ahead is Per Guy, 0-2 to Becker. Becker's had a lot of action in center field thus far today.
Toms River South wasting a golden opportunity with 2nd and 3rd in that last inning. Now you give the momentum a little bit back to Deptford after making the double play. I know Frank wanted to be aggressive on the base pads there and send his runner, but you give them momentum after Deptford was a little bit back on their heels to really get back into the game and throwing a runner out at home plate. And this is the type of team, once you give them a little momentum, they've been feeding off of that all year. That's why they're in the South Jersey Finals this time around.
Called third strike on Becker, quickly one down here, and that's Perguy's second strikeout, third strikeout of the day. One of his strikeout victims is this man, John Sakali. He struck out to lead off the game.
So far, the difference in this game is Deptford has put together a few hits, but they've been all singles, whereas Toms River South has really hit the ball hard when they have hit the ball. Their big hits have been doubles and triples.
They have no singles. Ball popped back towards us and out of play. Toms River South has 5 hits on the day. 4 doubles and a triple. 1-1 pitch to Sakali. Wow. That'll keep you loose. This year we had a game where I had a left-handed hitter on our team foul on and actually hit one of my own players in the head. It's a dangerous play. Sakali with the defensive swing and slices one down the left field line.
You got to keep your head up in that dugout out there when you get a left-handed hitter. It always seems like the lefties too. I don't know why that is, but it seems like the lefties like to go.
1 ball, 2 strikes here to Sakali, the pitcher, who's done a nice job on the mound, trying to help his cause. Perguy's delivery, fastball for a strike, and back-to-back called third strikes here in the 5th inning. That'll bring up Matt Bainey.
Perguy's really not hurting himself whatsoever now with a couple of strikeouts. He seems to be getting stronger. Now as a pitcher, you know you're going to get those strikes called on the outside corner. The inside corner, you're going to use that to your advantage.
Fastball misses low. 1-0 here to Bainey. Bainey on the day has singled and has flown out. Ground ball up the middle, just past the diving pitcher, but it's going to be the shortstop Hardy to make the strong throw. Dug out by Hansen, and that will end the inning. A strong play there by Eric Hansen, and that will end the inning for Deptford. After 4 1/2, Toms River South on top of Deptford 2-0 here on Comcast Cablevision Channel 43. Welcome back to Campbell's Field here. Bottom of the 5th inning. Group 3 South Jersey Championship game. Toms River South on top of Deptford 2-0. Rob Christ along with Shawn Leary here at beautiful Campbell's Field, the inaugural season.
Get a good look there.
It's been a lot of fun.
Oh yeah, this is an outstanding stadium. A lot of fun to be at. We're excited coming up here today. I know I was a little juiced up for this game, not only being a final, but coming up to the stadium to check it out and see what it's like. It's a place where I would like to come in this summer and enjoy a nice game, see the Riversharks play.
Curveball misses upstairs 1-0. Absolutely, if you have an opportunity, bring your family down here to Campbell's Field. Check out the facilities. The tickets are inexpensive. You're right on top of the action. It's just a lot of fun. What I love is just the backdrop of that bridge there. It is phenomenal. It's just something that is very unique, and you're a part of the action. It's inexpensive, and that's really the way baseball is supposed to be. Curveball called for a strike here to Knox. Knox 0 for 1. Popped up last time to the pitcher, trying to get on base via a bunt. Pitch misses upstairs. It's now 3-1.
Sakali may be tiring out, maybe just a little bit. He's fallen behind the hitters in the last couple of innings.
Fastball high, and a leadoff walk issued to Andrew Knox, the number 9 hitter. And this is why coaches get gray hair.
Surely, especially with this. We talked about the situation with Knox, the 9-hitter. Now coming up, you're saying, oh, well, you got your leadoff hitter coming up. They're turning the batter order around for somebody who can pop the ball out of the yard. He almost did in his last time at bat, reaching the fence down left field and got one into the right center field gap his first time up.
Frazier steps in, 2 for 2 with a pair of doubles. You know, Frazier, the leadoff hitter, this is no ordinary leadoff man. As we mentioned before, he he holds the career mark for most home runs at Toms River South. That's a baseball school with a rich tradition.
This is like Doug Glanville, the Philadelphia Phillies. He's been popping them out of the yard as a leadoff hitter. This is that type of hitter who comes up. He is a threat every single time he's up there to hit one out of the yard.
First pitch to Frazier, fastball low and away for a strike, and Frazier not particularly pleased with it.
No, the Indian fans aren't pleased with it, but the umpire has been consistent. He's been calling that outside pitch, and you know that as a hitter that you got to go up and swing at it.
Fastball skied into left field. Going back, it's Zane having a little trouble now, but underneath it makes the catch. Zane having a tough time with the wind. It's also begun to rain, Shawn, so that may have been part of the difficulty with fielding that ball.
Plus was hit so high, ball carrying a little bit. We seen the flag out there, carrying a little bit to left field, but Zane able to get back and make the play on it. And Scotty's got to be breathing a sigh of relief just to get Frazier back to the dugout.
Absolutely. He's hit the ball hard 3 times, just missing that one. That'll bring up Kevin Majewski. Each time up, he showed bunt. And we'll see if he does so again, even though there's one out. He did that last time. They pick off Knox to throw over to the second baseman, the tag, and he's out. A delayed call from the umpire. A bit of a mix-up defensively as Bainey took the bag instead of Shockey, but he did make the tag, and the second out now. So each team has had a man picked off in this game.
And you can't make a nicer play on that play than Bainey did. Reaching back across his body after he picked it out of the dirt to get and apply the tag. So getting out of a little bit of trouble here as he walked the leadoff batter, got Frazier to pop out, and then his second baseman pulls out a nice play to get 2 outs. Whole different inning now for Sakali.
And here's Majewski trying to bunt sharply. Nice play by the third baseman. The tag, and he gets him. Johnson to Jackson. Jackson applies the tag, and some strong defense there by Deptford ends the inning. We're done with 5 here at Campbell's Field in Camden, New Jersey. The Group 3 South Jersey Championship game. It's Toms River South on top of Deptford 2-0 on Comcast Cablevision Channel 43. There you see the crowd on here at Campbell's Field. A strong contingent of Deptford students on hand to root on their squad. First pitch is skied to the shortstop, and it's going to be Brett Hardy to make the catch. 1 pitch and 1 out. Mark Johnson, the third baseman, now 0 for 3 on the day.
Really not helping himself out there. He's going after the first pitch. This is a big inning for Deptford with only 5 outs now remaining in their season. If they can hold on here and get to that 7th inning where they've had so much happen for them, but they have the middle of their lineup, 3, 4, and 5. I'm sure they'd love to get something going here.
Again, first pitch swung at. Nice play by Majewski. Strong over to first base and gets him just in time. Diving play by Majewski, throwing out Dave Jackson, and 2 pitches and 2 outs here for Toms River South.
That's got to be disheartening right now for Dave Jackson. He's reached base now, and both times that he came up to the plate, he comes up to the third time and really gets a nice play, trying to go down that line and get a double. Majewski comes up with an outstanding play, diving to his right and then coming up making a strong throw over to first base.
Here you see Jay Matthews now, 2 pitches, 2 outs, and in that situation you've got to take at least 1 pitch, and per guy quickly ahead here, 0-1. Majewski looking majestic over at third base, a fine play. Per guy's next pitch skied into right center field, going back on its Frazier. He will not catch up to it. Ball lands into center field, and here comes the throw to third base over the third baseman's head. I tell you what, I was just in shock watching Matthews come all the way to third base there. I don't know if he ran through the stop sign or not, but they would have had him quite easily. Ball's a little bit wet today, and the cutoff throw goes over Majewski's head and nicely backed up by Perguy. And just like that, Deptford has a man on third base.
I thought it was a duck round in second because he was a dead duck at third base if that throw was there. He wasn't already to second. The ball was coming in toward him. He takes advantage of a high throw. Now you have a runner at third base, and it's much easier to score. I mean, it seemed like he was going to be out at third base if there's any kind of a relay throw in. But now you have an easier chance to score. A wild pitch will score the run with 2 outs. So even though it doesn't look like the heads-up play there, the aggressive base running gets them in a better position to try and score a run against Perguy.
Well, it looks like they've scored that as a triple. I think that really should be a double with a throwing error. But nonetheless, you have Matthews at third base. Matthews, a designated hitter, coming into this game, barely hitting his weight, but he's come up big today. He's shown up with 2 big hits in this ball game, and Deptford gets the first runner to third base on the evening. And stepping up, Chris Shockey, who is 0 for 2. He has popped out to first base, trying to get on base via a bunt, trying to sacrifice, and has also looked at a called third strike.
One of the heroes in the semifinal, getting a big 2-out, 2-run double against Lakewood.
Shockey takes a look at the first pitch, hacks away. It's 0-1.
But maybe Deptford has seen something here where they're getting their best pitch as the first pitch, because in this inning they've been going after that first pitch from Perguy.
Time is called. Perguy will like another baseball. And again, I didn't get a chance to see whether or not Tim Taylor gave the stop sign and Matthews ran through it, or whether he was waving him on. But one thing you have to keep in mind, as I mentioned, it was raining earlier. It's still kind of spritzing out there, so the ball's going to be a little bit slick. And Taylor said that he likes to be aggressive.
He likes to be aggressive, but he would have had to have the rain like burn in his eyes, because he couldn't have been waving him on to third. But nonetheless,
Shockey pops one again, and all the way behind home plate here.
Somebody going into press row where Gloucester County Time Zone Kevin Minnick is in there, and I want to thank him for helping us out with some stats today. He gave us some information on this park.
0-2 pitch now to Shockey. This is upstairs. It's 1-2.
I hope he didn't try to catch that, because I'm not going into work tonight. Tonight's my night off. Better not have injured any fingernails or anything trying to catch that ball.
1-2 delivery. Fastball popped into right field. Going back, it's Giannoulis. He'll have room underneath it and makes the catch to end the inning. Shockey flying to right fielder Giannoulis, and that will end the threat here in the top of the 6th. So after 5 1/2 innings, it is Toms River South on top of Deptford 2-0 here in the South Jersey Group 3 championship game on Comcast Cablevision, Channel 43. Welcome back to Campbell's Field. Toms River South on top of Deptford 2-0 here on Comcast Cablevision Channel 43. The South Jersey Group 3 championship game. Rob Christ along with Shawn Leary. Ryan Giannoulis will start things off. Of course, he made the catch to end that threat for Deptford in the top half of the inning. First pitch from Sakali in the dirt for a ball. 1-0. Giannoulis right now with the game-winning RBI, a long double in that first inning, knocking in Frazier. He's 1 for 2 on the afternoon. Ground ball towards the middle. It's going to be the second baseman, and Bainey throws over to first in the dirt, gets away, and compounds the problem, and quickly Giannoulis in scoring position.
That's a play where maybe second baseman, I know he's reaching to his right. It's a tough play for him, but he puts a runner in scoring position. Now let's see if with their cleanup hitter, if they're going to try and bunt him over to get an extra run.
Well, they rule that a 2-base error by Bainey.
He would have had a chance to get him at first base, and I know they want to try to be aggressive, but
Hardy into left field. Zane ranging underneath it, has plenty of room, and quickly one away here in the bottom half of the 6th. That'll bring up Matt Martin to the plate. Martin led off in the 4th inning, had a triple and scored on the RBI double by Todd Frazier.
Yeah, he really hit the ball hard his last time up, getting it over Becker's head.
Colley's first pitch, curveball grounded to the left side. Picking it up, it's Johnson. Throws over to first base for the out. 2 outs now for the Indians.
These two pitchers have really done an outstanding job. Really quick game, getting themselves out of trouble. A couple of hard hit balls have been the difference so far in this game by Toms River South. As you said, the only base hits that they've been able to get have all been extra base hits, the 4 doubles and the 1 triple.
Well, Todd Frazier hurt him last time with an RBI double. Let's see if Sakali goes at him. First pitch is a curveball in the dirt. Grashia's done a nice job behind the plate today. It's 1-0. So what do you think, Shawn? You have an open base here. Do you pitch around the freshman Frazier, who's demonstrated his prowess at the plate, or do you go right at him?
And the way he hit the ball his last time up, he really got a hold of it. You look at Hansen, who's walked and hit a weak grounder, or hit a grounder to first base. I would go after Hansen, and I wouldn't intentionally walk him, but don't give him anything really good to look at.
Ball gets away from Gracia now. It's 2-0. As we mentioned, Frazier, a freshman, and had a big RBI single versus Delsey in the state tournament and a 2-run double versus Mainland. So we know that he is a clutch player, of course, as we mentioned before, leading Toms River to the World Series championship, the Little League World Series championship.
I wouldn't pitch totally around him. Here's why. Deptford comes up in the top of the 7th. If they're able to take a lead, you have the 7, 8, and 9 hitters, and if you can get through them without looking at Frazier, if you're able to take the lead, kind of looking ahead a little further, maybe that's something you want to think about in a game like this, such a big game. Looking ahead, we don't want to face Jeff Frazier. If we take the lead in the 7th, we don't want to find him in the bottom of the 7th inning.
3-1 pitch from Sakali, a fastball lined into left field. Coming on at Zane. Frank is waving him on. The throw to the plate, not in time, and Toms River South on top now, 3-0. Again, we talked about Frazier being a clutch hitter. He's knocked in the 2nd and 3rd runs this evening for the Indians.
He just did a nice job. The ball was in the outside part of the plate. He did a nice job pulling that for a base hit and picking up another insurance run. Deptford now going to have to score 3 runs to tie this in the bottom of the 9th inning with their 7th, 8th, and 9th hitters up.
Curveball grounded over to the first baseman. Jackson handles it cleanly and touches first base to end the inning, but not before Toms River South adds an insurance run. It could be a big one. We are complete with 6. It is Toms River South on top of Deptford 3-0 in the South Jersey Group 3 championship game. You're watching Comcast Cablevision, Channel 43. Well, there you see it, Campbell's Field, just on the outskirts of Rutgers Camden campus. Beautiful facility, and there you see the score. Toms River South on top of Deptford 3-0. We head into the top of the 7th inning. Rob Christ along with Shawn Leary, the South Jersey Group 3 championship game. And right there, Chris Perguy. He's pretty much been the story. Comes into this game with a 5-0 record, and again, not even Toms River South's top pitcher, but he has done an exceptional job, and he'll try to finish things up here in the 7th. He will face the 7, 8, and 9 hitters. Brad Lynch will lead things off for Deptford. He is 0 for 1. He walked in his last at bat. Perguy's next pitch, fastball, popped down to right field line. Getting after it, it's the first baseman, and makes the play is the second baseman, Matt Martin.
Nice play by Martin to come over and call the first baseman off, make the play. 1 out now, 2 outs away for Toms River South. Be again Group 3 South Jersey champions. Deptford 2 outs away from going home.
And stepping to the plate here, Rich Gracia. Fastball for a strike.
Gracia trying to get on base and try to make something happen to the Spartans.
Ground ball to the second baseman, Martin. Fields cleanly throws over to first base. 2 down here in the top of the 7th.
Well, if you look at it, Toms River South fired up, and so they should be now three runs down is Deptford. And coming into the 7th inning, we had to say they had them exactly where they wanted them with so many comeback wins this year. But it's a tall order when you're facing a guy like Perguy, who's really had command the entire game and not hurting himself. This team knows how to win these big ball games.
Perguy's first pitch swung on and missed by Becker. 0-1. There you see the Toms River South faithful urging on Perguy and the rest of the troops. Perguy's 0-1. Fastball on the outside corner, 0-2. And that's what Perguy has done all day. Been living on that outside corner, getting ahead in the count. That's why Deptford has yet to push across a run. Fastball swung on and missed. Strike 3. Toms River South is your South Jersey Group 3 champions. Well, we spoke before, Shawn. They are no stranger to winning the championship here in South Jersey, and Coach Ken Frank just adds to his illustrious career.
Deptford fans giving the Deptford Spartans a standing ovation as they're coming off the field, waiting to shake hands with the championship team, Toms River South. Deptford's got to look at this year as they've really progressed. Tim Taylor has improved this team year in and year out, got them to the playoffs last year. Were ousted by Morristown this year. They get them all the way to the South Jersey Finals. This team's really going to have to retool though next year as they lose a lot of seniors. A nice season, they really don't have anything to hang their heads about. They get to the South Jersey Finals as a senior. There's a lot of teams in South Jersey that wish they can say they can do that. There's a lot of seniors that go through 4 years of baseball that never get an opportunity, sometimes not even to make the playoffs. So hopefully they capture this experience of playing at Campbell's Field and hold on to it. And at least they have a nice tape here from Comcast Channel 43 that they can hold on to for years to come.
Well, I certainly have to agree with you. I mean, you come into this game, you play at a beautiful facility. It's memorable. You get to this this point of the season. You know, it's the old cliche that only one team ends the season, you know, with a win, more or less. And, you know, losing to Toms River South, what a tradition. They've been the South Jersey Group 3 champion now 5 of the last 6 years. This is not just a school with a tradition, it is an absolute juggernaut. One of the things that Coach Frank spoke to me about prior to the game, he said, you know, we play primarily the Group 4 schools. And as a result, I mean, we face the best competition day in and day out, and that really prepares us for this Group 3 tourney.
And you really can't, I want to use bridge the gap, but there was a huge gap coming into this game with the experience that they had and the inexperience from Deptford. Coming into a game like this has got to speak volumes. When a team does it for so many years, year in and year out, you have that tradition. It's tough to break that up. They just know how to win. They can smell the win, and here they get it again today. But Deptford, they come into the game. Sakali pitched a very good game. He only gave up the 5 hits and 4 doubles and a triple. They were able to hit the ball hard. That's the only difference in this game. A couple of more hard hit balls off Sakali than against Perguy. He did an outstanding job on the mound for Toms River South.
Well, again, a fine season for both of these teams. Toms River South now just 2 wins away from winning the state championship. Well, it was our pleasure to bring you the game today from Campbell's Field. I'd like to thank our director, Kevin Lamastra, and the rest of our crew. Once again, your final, Toms River South defeating Deptford 3-0 in the South Jersey Group 3 championship game. For Shawn, Leary, I'm Rob Christ. Thanks for joining us. Good night, everybody.